2K Sports pregame show.
Hello, basketball fans. Welcome to the NBA on 2K Sports, along with Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. I'm Ernie Johnson. Tonight, we'll see the Los Angeles Lakers playing against the Spurs out in San Antonio. Well, for San Antonio, they're looking to come out strong and make their mark early. They have to look at this game as a great opportunity to do just that. Well, the big three have been slowing down over the years, but the Spurs seem to keep the machine moving. Can you make the argument, Kenny, that the Spurs are shifting more towards becoming Kawhi's team in the future?
Well, I think Kawhi has done a great job, and he might be the most talented, impactful player on this team at this point. But I could see the Spurs adding another mix to him at some point. And when they add that mix to him, he also will be a much bigger contributor than he is now.
Listen, as long as the big three are in the locker room, it's their team, especially from a leadership perspective. But Kawhi is a key component for the Spurs' future, trust me.
And with the game just about to tip off, we get it to Kevin Harlan. Kev.
It's a Western Conference matchup as the Los Angeles Lakers come into town in this game. Great to have you with us, everybody, live on 2K Sports. With Greg Anthony, Clark Kellogg, and our sideline reporter, Doris Burke, this is Kevin Harlan. So the Lakers win the tip. We've got a chance here to set the floor, courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go for this one. Taking a look at Los Angeles. Kobe and Randall, the forward duo. Jordan Clarkson is out there with Russell. And it's Hibbert in at the pivot spot, manning the middle. And one feels bad for the way Julius Randle's career started. I was there that night, first game of the season, 7th pick out of Kentucky in the 2014 draft. Suited up for one game, broke his right leg 14 minutes in. And the guy that comforted him the most, I recall very vividly, Kobe Bryant stayed with him the entire time when he was really in shock on the floor.
He was, and unfortunately, for so many reasons. For one, he had really been progressing in the Summer League, and the Lakers obviously had high hopes for him. And when he went down, that was the start of the rest of the ship kind of going down with him.
First quarter of play, 1 minute played. Now, here's Clarkson. And here's Hibbert. Clarkson kicks to Bryant. Clock at 6. Hibbert, the pass to Kobe. 13 feet away. And the shot is long.
And a lot of teams are looking for coaches that embrace analytics and look at data-driven approaches. Coach Scott is not one of those guys. He's an old-school coach who goes with his own perception.
Lakers have gone 1 of 3 from the field to start this one so far. This is his first free throw of the game. And he knocks down the first one. Lou Williams is checked in for Russell. And Kobe drops them both. We've got 1:23 left to play here in the first. And Doris Burke caught up with Coach Greg Popovich. Doris?
Kevin, when I asked him about their game plan on the defensive end, he said they were looking to clog things up in the middle of the floor and not allow any clear looks at the basket from inside the paint. He feels if they can accomplish that, they'll have the upper hand on defense. Let's see how it plays out, Kevin.
Thanks again, Doris. And former Coach of the Year Byron Scott now with the Lakers. And as you said, Greg, he's not an analytics guy. And Clark, I think he's a guy that the eye test for him is huge.
Yeah, he feels a lot. Terrific communicator and storyteller. Great experience as a player and as a champion. And I think that all is evident in his coaching style.
Looking at who's out there now for the Spurs. West is checked in for Duncan. DL comes in for LaMarcus Aldridge. Manu Ginobili, he's checked in for Daniel Green. And it's Mills in for Parker. There's 45 seconds left in the first quarter of the game. Ryan in the post. He's covered by Leonard. And the basket by Kobe. 36 seconds left in the first quarter. West, right side. A good finish at the rack off the slick feed.
You know what? That's what you like to see. A perfect pass leading him right into the shot. Didn't even have to break stride.
Young dishes to Sacre. West with some nice D.
Usually if he gets to the rim, he's converting it into points. But the defense stood tall there.
Ginobili against Bryant. It's Ginobili with the drive. Can't connect from short range.
Well, he won't miss many of those, especially with the defender not in the best of positions there.
Tie game in San Antonio. And back with the start of the second quarter in just a moment. And speaking with Roy Hibbert before the game, he helped illuminate their defensive philosophy.
You want to guard the paint, and some of that has to do with myself being able to patrol the paint as much as possible. We want long contested twos. They guard the three-point line, bring them to me. I'll either hit them with a straight up, block the shot, or alter the shot. So contested twos are the worst shots in the NBA.
When you have that sort of focus like Hibbert, that kind of confidence on display on a nightly basis, Greg, you are a game changer, and he does change games every night.
You know, and we saw his skill set and execution develop very rapidly over the course of just a couple years. He worked extremely hard to become the force he is on the interior in this game.
Either team able to build much of a lead up to this point as we start the second quarter. And taking a look at San Antonio's performance here, what do you think they've been doing or not doing?
How good has the ball movement been here? Just absolutely terrific.
Boy, that kind of timely passing, Greg, really fun to watch.
So for the Lakers right now, Russell is out there with Lou Williams. Then there's Robert Sacre. Then it's Brandon Bass. And it's Young in at the three.
And that's how the coach would draw it up on the fast break from start to finish.
Yeah, and what a finish it was, guys. Really nicely done. Well, clearly the Lakers were not a great team. I mean, they did have one of their better bench units last season. They led the league in points off the bench, but that was more an indictment of the quality of the starters than the firepower of the bench.
Last year, the Lakers did have some firepower off the bench. A lot of players would see their roles shift during the year, as you might expect for a team trying to find the right combination.
Yeah, they were also near the top in the league in bench minutes played. So whether you start or come off the bench last year in L.A., you'll see plenty of action.
Ginobili kicks to Green. Duncan outside. Back to Green. A three-pointer off the mark.
Boy, but he was close, Kevin, to making the defense pay for lackadaisical coverage there.
Yeah, you may not be as lucky next time down if you're the defense. You cannot allow him to get those kinds of looks.
Now here's Ginobili. He hasn't yet put up any points in this one. To the inside. Here's Aldridge. And the shot is good, dropping in off the front of the rim.
Just such a well-rounded offensive player. He's got a little bit of everything.
Here's Randall. And foul called as he misses. He'll go to the line and shoot two. It's on LaMarcus Aldridge.
And the Spurs being the defending champions out west heading into last year. But they would end up 6th in the conference with a record of 55-27. Had a record of 32-20 against the rest of the West.
The Spurs making a switch here. Leonard's checked in, and the Lakers also making a switch. Kobe's checked in for Russell.
Timely passing leads to assists, and that's been the recipe for success.
Everybody on the same page, completely in sync, tremendous communication and awareness.
Well, we knew the West was going to be wild and very competitive all season long last year, and the Spurs, Clark, epitomized just how crazy and tough things can be there.
Yeah, and with about 3 weeks left in the season, the Spurs were sitting in the 7th playoff spot. Then they go on a tear and win 11 games in a row to jump to number 2. Finally lose one game, and they're all the way back to 6.
Hibbert gets the bucket.
Not much the defense can do once he gets to the bucket.
Spurs leading by 5.
I like the move to go 2 for 1 here.
So do I, Greg. I mean, I agree with you. They need to get a quick look and then try to get another possession after that.
No good from Duncan.
Oh, you've got to be able to deliver when you get a bunny like that. That's just too easy of a shot to miss.
Now 8 seconds separating the two clocks. And oh, here we go with Leonard. Nobody back. The coast-to-coast dunk.
And that's the kind of play you just do not want to give up defensively. You lose the possession and give up a quick 2 at the other end. That's losing basketball.
Especially when you can't afford to give up any buckets. That's a nice lead now.
An even 3-on-3 break. Here's Parker. And that comes off the assist by Duncan. Parker's got 4 points in the quarter. So we've reached the end of the first.
Well, Pop, a solid halftime lead here. How were you able to keep their offensive firepower in check so well in that second quarter?
I thought they missed a couple of shots. They missed some easy shots. So they helped us a great deal. So we were pretty fortunate that quarter.
Pop, thanks for the time. Guys?
All right, Doris, thank you. And time now for the halftime break with the third quarter soon to follow here on 2K Sports.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Ernie Johnson here again with Kenny Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. We welcome you back to the 2K Sports Halftime Show. A pretty close game for the Spurs throughout the first quarter. Nothing seemed to give way on either side of the scoring column as they wrapped up the period all knotted up. They showed their superiority in the second quarter and got well out in front, taking a 9-point lead into the locker room at the half. And Shaq, what are your thoughts on how San Antonio played?
Well, it was an unselfish, team-oriented half of basketball. The ball never stopped moving. Their offense had a great flow to it. It prevented anyone from getting lazy out there. They're always moving, cutting, knowing where they need to pass the ball, Ernie.
And Kenny, let's get your thoughts on the Lakers.
Can this team please get fired up on defense? I mean, get angry, get upset. Guys are way too soft and giving up way too many good looks. At some point, you got to draw the line in the sand. Be like, okay, who's crossing this line? If you're coming over here, I'm taking a hard foul, and I'm going to resist you on defense.
And that's going to do it for now as the second half is almost ready to get started. Back to Kevin Harlan and the rest of the 2K Sports crew. We're going to sit right here and wait for the end of the game and talk at you again.
Now the third quarter about to get going. Kobe Bryant really making a difference.
And what he gives his team, guys, is an edge. He just lights up an arena when he gets it going. And in that first half, young fella had it going.
Not just an edge, though, Greg. I think he gives them a confidence and a swagger they wouldn't otherwise have. And he's a special player to have around, no doubt about that.
The always reliable Parker and Green in the backcourt. Kawhi Leonard is out there with LaMarcus Aldridge. And it's Duncan in at the center. So that's who Greg Popovich starts the second half with.
And it's just hard to imagine the Spurs without Coach Popovich on the sidelines. He's the longest tenured coach in the NBA and has done so much for this team. Easily one of the best coaches in the history of our league.
Here's Russell following the basket by LaMarcus Aldridge. Clarkson, the three-pointer is right on target. Clarkson's got his first bucket of the game, and he's on the board for 3. Russell against Parker. Duncan with a screen on Russell. Here's Parker. Another one falls for San Antonio.
3 for 3, and that's always a good way to start the second half.
Russell passes to Clarkson from deep. And it's going to be out of bounds. The Spurs will take it. Manu Ginobili's checked in for Green. The Lakers also making some changes. Robert Sacre, he's checked in for Hibbert. Bass comes in for Randall. And it's Williams in for Jordan Clarkson. Parker against Russell. Parker kicks to Duncan. And 2 free throws coming up as he misses that one. Drawing the whistle and a lot of contact there. Well, no way to argue it. Tim Duncan, Clark, has been a winner his whole career. He's sharp mentally, and he's got the great tenacity on the floor. Only the greats have those qualities.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I think media members still underestimate his will to win. You don't do what he's done without a real laser-focused approach.
You know, interesting, guys, to illustrate Duncan and how he just wins. I mean, Spurs went 8-10 in December of 2014. That marked only the third losing month ever for Tim Duncan.
Now here's Bryant. He's got 6. Leonard with the steal. And now it's Leonard running. Here we go. All the way. Nice shot by Ginobili.
I think they need to get much more disruptive defensively. They can't just keep allowing these easy baskets.
That's got to be job number 1 right now. Nothing easy on the inside.
Lakers trail by 16.
And that stat you said about Duncan and losing months says a lot about both him and his team. I mean, he has been the leader of this Spurs franchise since day one and deserves all the praise you can give him.
Leonard dishes to Parker. That's good, and it's Leonard with the assist. 8 points for Tony Parker.
This is a nice third quarter surge here. They've got it going right now.
And a perfect time to get hot, just as we get into the meat of the second half here.
Now here's Parker. 18 points separating the teams. That's the biggest lead of the game. And of course, Tony Parker, so big for San Antonio in those championship runs. But word on the street was that Spurs coach Greg Popovich didn't always go easy on Tony. He really pushed him to the limit.
You know, it started back when Tony was invited to the Spurs summer camp before the 2001 draft. One of the scouts was really physical with Tony, really gave him a hard time, and that was really the start of his maturation process in learning to deal with the NBA.
When he's wide open like that, he'll rarely miss those.
Here's Williams. And count it. 2 points with a chance for one more at the free throw line.
You know, huge height advantage there, but because of the great body control, he's able to cancel it out.
Agreed. The body control essential in that situation. I mean, if you're giving up a bunch of height, then you better be able to manufacture things in the air.
Parker left side. Almost, but it rolls out. Well, through 3 quarters of play, down double digits, it may be difficult to overcome. Spurs out in front as they have. And we're getting underway here in the fourth quarter. The scoreboard tells the story in this matchup, but we'll see how much things change up here. Lakers trail by 17. So for the Lakers right now, Young is out there with Julius Randle. Then it's Russell. Then there's Jordan Clarkson. And it's Hibbert in at the center position. Now here's Leonard. Dishes to Green. Good. Green's got the first points up on the board here in the fourth for San Antonio.
They're doing a really good job of getting the ball inside and attacking the paint. That's an area they have completely dominated.
Well, once they recognized the advantage they had inside, it made a lot of sense just to continue to attack that area.
Now here's Mills. And Diaw kicks to Leonard. Rebound the Lakers. Hibbert's got 3 rebounds so far in the game. And Young, here we go. No good with the elbow jumper.
That's a shot he's got to hit. You don't get many looks better from that range.
Now here's Mills. D right on him. Leonard and Hibbert with the block. Clarkson with the ball. He's against Green. It's stolen by Green. And here comes Leonard leading the fast break. And he gets it to go. And it's 6 points for David West. Let's look at the energy stats, how the hustle game has been going for the Spurs.
Defensively, they played with a lot of energy, and the steals we've seen are a result of that aggressiveness.
They've been firing on all cylinders in the transition game, too. I mean, they've really run the break well.
Time called here. The Spurs decide to talk it over. They're up by 18. 1:31 left here in the fourth quarter. San Antonio making a switch here. Fredette is checked in. Sacre is checked in for the Lakers. Here's Fredette. From 13 feet, it goes down. And the Spurs lead by 20.
And so it's going to end up in the record books as a blowout, a dominating performance for the Spurs.
But, Steve, you don't see this kind of a blowout often. But tonight, this is a quality win across the board to deliver out, Clark, this kind of punishment to
Well,
him.
you know what? I thought they did a nice job of playing against the game. They kept the pressure on and clearly were dominant in every area.
And you have to look back at this and see the huge game it was for Tony Parker. And the way he was able to dice up their D with his passing really made things easy for everyone else on his team.
Now, here is Fredette. Kawhi Leonard unable to get his shot to go. Here's Mills. Good, and it's Diaw with the assist that time.
And that's just a little more for these fans to cheer about as they get ready to celebrate a W.
Well, let the party start. The celebration begins, and they're going to let their guys hear it.
And it's Russell missing. This has been a one-sided affair.
Yeah, they've done a nice job of extending their lead and maintaining that intensity level.
Leonard kicks to Diaw. Mills passes to West. Shot clock at 6. Can't hit the turnaround jumper. And the pass to Clarkson. From the high post. Rebound San Antonio. And so it's San Antonio easily taking this one. And the outcome of this one was never in doubt.
Yeah, they were clicking in every way. I mean, all cylinders go. No question about that. And once they pulled away, they didn't let up.
And time now to go courtside as we send you over to Doris Burke from the sideline. Doris?
David, obviously a very productive second unit. How does that change this basketball team when they play like that?
I mean, they set the tone. We're a very deep team, and our bench is going to have an advantage most nights.
David, thank you. Kevin, depth always important in the NBA.
Thank you, Doris. Great interview once again. Well, folks, that's going to do it for now. For Clark Kellogg, Greg Anthony, and Doris Burke, this is Kevin Harlan along with our entire 2K Sports crew, thanking you for tuning in. See you next time.
The 2K Sports post-game show.
Thank you, Kevin. And now we get a chance to present our Jordan Player of the Game, Tony Parker. He showed the composure and cleverness that only a longtime veteran could possess. A vintage performance from a very savvy player.
He shot over 50% from the field in the game, a testament to how hard he worked to always find the best look possible. He was in constant motion. He found those gaps in the D and made the most of his open looks.
Tony Parker is putting on a show. The Sabone assassin does it again. Man, see, he started out as a traditional one guard, bringing the ball up, getting to the back filler. But now, the team, it leans on him.
And that's it for our broadcast here tonight. But we're just getting started on a new season in the NBA. For Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith, Kevin Harlan, and the entire 2K Sports crew, I'm Ernie Johnson. We'll see you again soon.